Okay, so part 4 about the people coming and telling me I'm God and watching the world shift around me. So they, let's in that last note, they were definitely like all super excited in the store when I came in after I asked for rain to come put out the fires on the West Coast and stuff. And in fact, like the leaders here we're not allowed to name were so excited that they tried to ram me with their shopping carts several times in the store. I think they were trying to get my attention to look up and see everything else in the world because I was like staring at the ground because like that's all I do my whole life. To avoid people, I just like stare at the ground and stay away from where anyone's at. And so, as if I didn't already see that everyone around me was acting all super excited, like they worship Disney and Mickey Mouse just came into the store, or like they worship Jesus and Jesus came in the store, something like that. I could already tell they were already super hyped and probably over the stuff I just requested, like rain to put out the fires. And they were trying to hit me with carts to get me to like look up and acknowledge, like everyone was just like super ecstatic to see me and everything. And I was like, that kind of pissed me off because I was trying to ignore that because it was starting to like piss me off. Like if everything else is like involved on this side of the computer system, and it's just me over here slowly learning that. It's like really pissed me off that how I've been treated my whole life and stuff. And now you can change it, you can control it. It's like, oh, we're gonna change things if this is the case, definitely. But they were clearly trying to put that out. Hell, even the Rainbow showed later that day, because I was just like, hey, if we're going to deal with it, if we're going to deal with, just if these people have been stalking me and playing this game all along, then, let's do the flood thing. And then magically, the rainbow appears right there. So, and that's the day everyone else is like trying to point out to me that I'm probably correct about what I can see about being able to control the weather. Or at least they want to convince me of that for some nefarious purposes. People with massive power like this might be up to something. So the blizzard. There was a blizzard that was supposed to sweep USA in 2021? And then I was just playing around with it and stuff because of everything I've seen so far. I was just like, oh, great, great snow angel, please come save us and stuff. And then you can see on my Facebook that someone who came as a clone of one of my friends, Progers, came up to me and like, they didn't come up to me, but they said, like, what are you doing? They were like freaking out. They're like, what are you doing? Like, pretty much implying that they understood what I was saying, why I was saying it. And so that's more of the weather stuff, and they're, trying to act like I'm in control of it or something. When we had the New World Order, who could have these powers to stalk people and create clones of people and shapeshift, who get blamed for having weather weapons and stuff like that the government runs. HAARP. Anyways, yep. So they came and blamed me for that. And then Progers started talking in that conversation as well. And me and Progers don't talk. But he just happens to show up when this clone of Progers shows up too. Now, I've had the clones in the same room, so I've always had the answers to what the clones are. I don't need it. We start discussing what's really going on, and we can solve problems with what, that are going on, rather than having to play God and use God powers to solve every problem, Not every problem problem requires a hammer. But if you're Thor, apparently your power is to use hammers. So we have to figure out how to fix every problem with a hammer. And that's possible. Everything can be fixed with a hammer. You can get rid of every problem in the world with a hammer. You can get rid of every problem in the world with fire and floods and all sorts of other things like that. Okay, so I think I already mentioned the shofar thing. Them showing up, blowing the shofar. Okay, so I'll add on some egotistical stuff. Okay, so I was born like entirely different as a child. I was never a child. I was never allowed to be a child, and I'm not necessarily whining about that right now. That must be horrible to be. It looks fun though. The level of ignorance some people display. They look like they're having fun. Like to be the clone. It's like, oh, I was around 5 seconds ago. The earth is great. Everything's beautiful. It's like, it's great. I wish I could be there sometimes. But I wasn't born the same as everyone else. We had like test scores to prove that. The excuse for isolating me when I was a child was they didn't know what to do with me because I'm too intelligent for school. But, the repeated patterns of isolation, how they act, we can clearly see that there's something nefarious actually going on there. But I was born differently, so I already knew things. I didn't have to go to school or learn things. And I could answer test questions and stuff like that. I could write little novels and get awards from the president and stuff like that as a child. And I didn't try. Maybe in previous lives I tried to read and write. And maybe I did. Maybe everything I do, I try harder than most people. But I didn't really try to, do all that stuff and know most of that stuff when I got all those test scores and, advanced placement and whatever at school. And these days I even try to, hobble myself because, I already feel so alone. If I just made myself stupid, I could probably fit in a lot better. If I stopped doing anything, just sit around and watch TV, I would fit in a lot better. I used to fit in a lot better when I did that. But, when I was a child, there's still other people who ask me where the world should go next and stuff like that. I also feel that that's like something that just points more to this other stuff. Yeah. So, there's a lot of stuff going on, but we should definitely get some of these people together. The ones who follow me, call me God, blow the shofar when God arrives on the scene. We should definitely have some answers to what this is and why people would want to convince some little nobody is me that I'm God. And what the world itself, the actual physical material world, would join in and show me impossible things that are actually happening. So we got to come up with these answers. Very important because, like I said, might have been stomped on a lot. Maybe that's part of the plan. We erase my memory. We come here and I watch everyone. And then I make a judgment about what should be done.